everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I've decided after many requests to do a back to basics. So this is like Vithya's back to basics 101, and here I'm going to teach you basic steps like how to do the concealer, how to do foundation, how to do contour, how to do highlight, how to apply your blusher, how to do brows, how to do liner, and how to apply your lashes. So 8 things that I'm going to teach you in my series. So you'd have to tune in every Wednesdays and Fridays to see these. If you've missed one, just go back to last week's and have a look. If you have quite dry skin, you obviously need something moisturizing. If you have normal skin, you can technically use any concealer that's out there, so you're quite lucky in that sense. The other problem that a lot of people face, not just obviously texture, but like also pigmentation. So a lot of us Asians, we do tend to suffer from dark circles, we tend to suffer from darkness around the mouth. So if that's the case, the best product that you need is a color corrector. It doesn't really matter what color corrector you use. I do like the Studio Finish Pure Orange from MAC because it's really oily, so I can really work around with it rather than having something that sets. So what I like to do is if I'm just doing this on myself, just get a little bit and then kind of apply it just where it's dark. And I would do the same thing around the mouth area as well if you need to, sort of thing. So I'm not gonna really use it much. So whatever I had on the brush, I'm just gonna my finger, I'm just gonna use it all around my mouth. So you can see it's looking a little bit orangey. So I don't need a lot of product. The other thing is, don't go right into the lash line either, because the second you do that, it starts sitting in your lines. So this would be one way of doing it. Now if you are going to be using color corrector, you definitely need something that's long lasting, and you definitely need something that's going to really cover the orange. So you actually do need something that's a lot more coverage. So one thing that I like is from MAC, the Prolongwear, and you need something that's yellow based. So now that you have orange, you need to put something yellow to really get rid of the orange. So you're not going to use something orangey on top of orangey, because it's just going to look even darker, right? So the product that I'm going to use on myself is the NC 30 from MAC. I know it's quite bright, but I like my under eyes to look quite bright. So I've just used a pump on the back of my hand, and I like using my finger as well. And then I'm just going to use it all around where I've used the orange. Another thing that you can do is just use a beauty blender and just like really press it into the skin. So if you look at this side and that side, this just looks a little bit brighter, fresher. That's one way of doing it. The other 2 products that I would probably suggest if you don't want to use color correcting, or if you need something that's much quicker, is also the Studio Finish, but this one is an NW30. So remember, I used the NC30. I used the NC because it's yellow based, and I used it on top of a color corrector. And this one is just a standard, but it's more of a pink tone. So I'm just going to use some of this, put my finger in it because it's just on myself. And if I use this is just going to give me also a slightly brighter look. And I'm just going to use my beauty blender. So it's completely up to you how you want to use this and which one you actually prefer. So for me personally, I prefer this side, just because I find it a little bit more moisturizing, and I can just like kind of play around with it. This already feels extremely matte, and like it's something, since I have a bit of dry skin, I might be worried that this might just sit in the creases a lot more, sort of thing. But these are the 2 options. If you feel like you definitely need something a lot more moisturizing than the MAC Studio Finish, another really great product is the Tom Ford. So these ones, they're just called concealing pens, and they're really nice, and especially I would say for somebody with really dry under eyes or mature skin, this is amazing. So I'm just going to use it on top of what I already have. So can you see how it just goes on? It almost feels like water. It's super, super, super light. And it's very yellow based as well, so I'm not really showing you because I want to show you the difference, but it's just this one just moves around. It's just like super, super, like you can see it's quite yellow. Like I think you can see this, and it's just like very sort of moisturizing as well. So that's really good. Another recent favorite as well is the Bobbi Brown concealer, and this one's an instant coverage one. This is probably the one that I use a lot at the moment. However, it is a tiny little bit dry, so I think it works okay for me, but again, if you do have really dry under eyes, I probably wouldn't recommend this. I would probably stick to either the Tom Ford or the Studio Finish because they're more oil based or water based, but this one's okay. You can try this out, and I like this because it gives me enough coverage as well, so it's actually really, really good, and it's very easy because it's just like from the stick. Yeah, and the same thing, so if I was going to use it on top, this is how you would apply it, and then you can use your finger, or you can just basically use a sponge and you could just sort of press it in. I'm gonna have a lot of concealer on my face, but I just want to show you all the little ways of doing it. Yes, this side is like extremely bright now, but yeah, that would be the concealers that I would suggest. There are so many other concealers, like whatever really works for you, but I would just say just first figure out what your under eye area is, not your whole face, because your whole face could be oily and your under eyes could be like extremely dry, or you could have a lot more wrinkles, you could have the dark circles, so it's really assessing what you want. So that's kind of what I've done, like different things. Now you also need concealer to cover the scars on your face. So anything yellow based is not going to fix the scars. All it's going to do is just cover any redness in your skin. So if you have like a fresh spot that's a little bit red, or if you have like little red sort of people get those little rashes or something like that, or you're just looking a lot more red in some areas, like people tend to be a lot more red around the nose or anything, that's when you would basically apply the yellow based concealer, anything yellow. But to get rid of scars and you want something for it to last the whole day, the best product is definitely the Prolongwear, but this one's also an NW. So the color that I'm going to use on myself is an NW35. And just again, back of your hand. And then I just use my finger. And I'm just going to apply it where I've got the scars. And then just like press it into the skin. Yeah, that's already fixed the problem, because the good thing is you're obviously going to go over with either foundation or powder or whatever, so, and you can use this anywhere where you have the dark scars. Anything red, you go back to an NC, so anything yellow based. Okay, so these are like the pink based concealers for scars and yellow based for redness, hence why you would use the yellow based concealer on top of a color corrector, and then you've got the pink based just on its own, just to again get rid of the dark, but not the real dark. Like the real dark circles is is where you would use the color corrector. So yeah, I feel like I look like I've slept over 10 hours, but that's as easy as concealer. You don't have to have a brush, you can. I just find fingers are the best tools, and sponges, so the beauty blender is definitely something that I would invest in. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys really enjoyed this. If you do like this, give it a thumbs up. Please leave feedback. I would love to know what you thought and if it did help, and if you can suggest anything or any techniques that you guys do so other readers and YouTube watchers can learn something from you guys as well. Do not forget to subscribe, and please watch my series so you can either watch the one that you've missed or next week's one. Mwah!